Good morning, good morning, good morning, everyone. Guess what? It's time for From the Ground Up. Real time issues with real time solutions. Brought to you by Queen Strategy Partners, Nicole Valentine, Esquire, Danielle Douglas, and myself, Dr. Stacie N.C. Grant. Thank you so much for tuning into our show. You know that we are every other week, the first and third Thursday of the month. So we are excited, Tuesday rather, of the month. So we're excited that we are here again with a exciting show. You know, our goal has been since our first season to now is to bring you real-time solutions for real-time issues. So we thank you for the opportunity to be a part of your journey as we're all journeying through what we went and experienced in 2020, now 2021, being a new chance and a new opportunity to not only hear information, but implement it. You know, Danielle's going to get on you about that. But thank you for tuning in today. It's going to be an exciting Power Pack show, a collaboration case study in real time. So ping a friend, let them know that we're here, share it out with somebody so that we can engage, and you might have some questions to contribute as well to today's show. But this is my favorite part of the show. I get to introduce my phenomenal, amazing, talented co-host, the one and only Danielle Douglas. Hey, Danielle.
Hey, Miss Dr. Stacie N.C. Grant, how are you doing? As well as our guests, Miss Staci Richburg and Mr. Andrew Grant. We're so happy to have you with us today. As you all know, we had Staci and Andrew with us for the holiday season, and we wanted to bring them back because, as you know, our goal for this season, at least through March, is to really talk about the value of collaboration, right? If nothing else, 2020 should have shown us the need to have a sense of community, not only in our personal lives, but in our professional lives. And as I always say, the sum is greater than the individual parts. And so when there is synergy and you can create synergy with other businesses, it can be beneficial for all parties. And so, you know, Staci and I, the first two sessions of this year, we've been talking about collaboration, but we also thought it would be really good for you to see what that could look like in a real world scenario. So we have, again, Miss Staci Richburg.
Good morning. Good morning.
Yes. Andrew, I said doctor because I'm thinking of your wife. I'm so used to always saying Miss Dr.
Listen,
Staci.
I'll take it. I'll take it.
And Mr. Andrew Grant, I've had the good fortune of working with both of these great people for projects that I have in my business. So again, I cannot say enough how they are wonderful. They are extremely professional and they are masters of their craft. So
thank you.
Without further ado, I'm going to transition back over to Miss Dr. Staci N.C. Grant for her to kick it off, and then I'll ease my way back in.
Absolutely. And thank you so much, Danielle, for just giving everyone the context of how we're flowing through this first quarter. Let me just pause and say, it's February. Like, how did that happen? Like, can I just get that out there? Like, where in the world did February come from? And February truly came in like a storm, but literally, figuratively. So we hope that everyone is well. And thank you all for introducing and participating in the platform. So Staci and Andrew. Staci, you have structured beauty and skincare, and you also have your health coaching, and you also have the makeup, correct? Am I getting all three brands?
Yep. Okay. You have the Black Butterfly, which is the clothing line and mentoring program, and you have the Must Have Minerals, which are the smoothies and vitamins, and then Structured Beauty and Skin.
Okay. So that you see, she's quite busy. There's not a free moment on her schedule. And Andrew Grant from the Granted Group, you have your video production, photography, and you also do engineering of events. So Zoom productions and all the different platforms. You have that going on as well. Did I miss anything with you?
Nope. I think you hit it right on the head.
So this morning, as we talk about the collaboration case study, hey, Mecca, good morning. Good morning to everyone that is tuning in. We want to start with what's your why? Like, why did you decide to become a small business owner or an entrepreneur? That's a decision. Not everybody makes that decision, because I personally believe that you have to have a certain sort of cray-cray in order to go into business. And when I say that lovingly, it's not a course that's laid out for you. You're charting that course. You're hopefully taking the time to invest in yourself in program and development and learning so that you can create your business. But at the core of why you decided to become a small business, I'd like each of you to just share your story. So Stacie, we'll start with you, namesake.
Thank you. Thank you. Good morning, everyone. So my why was I was in beauty for a long time, working in the stores, Saks, Barney's. And you know what? You realize that you're building these $1 million businesses, and you one day realize and say, you know what? I can do this for myself. You know, why am I working so hard and not feeling valued and underpaid? Doing it for someone else. Now, granted, working for yourself is a lot of work. However, you're right. There is a certain amount of crazy that comes with it. I call it organized confusion mentally. I started my own business. I started with Structure Beauty and Skin, and then it just snowball effect and kept rolling from there. My why though was it was time to make a change. And you know what? I didn't want to work for anyone else. I was working abundantly, many hours. I had pneumonia twice. I had bronchitis once. And I said, you know what? The stress of doing that for someone else, I can do that, make that own stress for myself, and work hard and build generational wealth for my kids. And you know what? I started doing that. And I said, you know what? No more will I do that for anyone else and be undervalued and unappreciated. So that's my why.
Look, Andrew, Stacie, you have Andrew. He's like the choir. He's like, amen.
Listen. Listen.
Can I get an amen?
You can relate.
I can relate to everything that she just said, because in terms of my why has got to be my family. And once you start on a road to personal development, what happens is you read all these stories about all of these great people in the world. And I like to read what I call origin stories. Like, how did they start? And then when you read these books and you listen to how these people started, you're like, wait a minute, but they started in a situation that's similar to where I am right now. And what you realize is, like, you know what? If I have the courage to go out there and do this, I think that I will be successful. So for me, growing up, I really didn't have any examples of what it was to be an entrepreneur, or even have anyone in my family that had their own businesses. So literally in our family, besides my lovely wife, we're trailblazers. We're trailblazers. There's really no example. So for me, just like Stacie, if you want to build that generational wealth and you want to leave that legacy for your family, you can't look to anybody else to do it. You have to do it yourself. So really, that's my why. I want to build a legacy and generational wealth for my family.
So you just want to jump in here, because I think you said something key, Andrew, and that is that you study how people got started, what that looks like. And it's so interesting you say that, because I do that also. I love to hear about extremely successful business people, but I'm always interested in the journey, because if you really don't, this is a real struggle, folks. It's a grind. Like I say, you eat what you kill. And so with that said, when you feel like, oh my gosh, what the heck, it's like you hear about these stories about people like Tyler Perry, who was sleeping in his car, but then boom, after all that toil, he made it all came together, and he is who he is today. I'm just using him as one example, but there's many examples like that you see their success, but you don't hear about the struggle, the journey to get there. And sometimes you think, oh my gosh, I'm the only one who's
Only one
going
going
through
through this. Yep.
not realizing that those highly successful people had crazy struggles just like you may be going through, right?
I always say, yeah, I always say that this is part of the price that you pay for success.
Amen. I'm gonna give you a hallelujah. But to bring it full circle back to what we're talking about, that is why we need to collaborate together,
Yes.
right? That's why we need to collaborate on multiple levels. One, to share the journey with folks, for us to not feel isolated in that journey, in this entrepreneurial journey, and also to help one another, right? And if 2020 didn't teach us anything else, it should teach us that how important it is to have that community on a personal level as well as a professional level.
Correct.
So I want to understand with that.
Before you go into the next question, Dan, I just want to shout out some people that are hanging with us this morning. So, Mecca, I know we shouted you out before. Hey, Lynette, good to see you. Akila, thank you for stopping by. Miranda, appreciate you being here. That's part of Staci Richburg's fan club. I remember that show. Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's right. Stacie and crew.
Yes.
Crew.
Well, we appreciate that because look, Staci got her community. Right?
Yes. And we're still building, and that's what this is about. The collaboration is still building.
Absolutely.
Yeah, sure.
And before you even go to the next question, I wanted to say this to you, Andrew, and I appreciate what you said. You said that your wife was doing it, right? And then you were supporting her. And I think that's a big part of when you have these, being an entrepreneur in small business, having the support of the person that you're with, your husband, your partner, whomever. It's the support that really helps you guide, because when you're living in the house, you guys are married, even like with my husband, if I didn't have the support from him, it would be even more so challenging. And that is so important. That really helps us as entrepreneurs continue to grow. And even like you were saying, Danielle, that, with this, with this type of 2020 and 2021 and everything that's going on, that having the support, but also you're showing people how to start and where to begin. And my husband has started a business as well too. So it's really nice. Yeah. And it's so Dr. N.C. Grant, let me tell you, we're leading the way in our home, but we're bringing everyone else with us. And I think it's a beautiful thing.
Absolutely.
I'm sorry. Quick question. What business did your husband start?
He started a sangria business.
Oh my gosh! I want to look. We live about 5 blocks away from each other. You talking about smoothies? Staci, I could make my smoothies, but I want some sangria.
The sangria, look, I'm a witness. The sangria is good, Hunty. I love the fact, because we have so much to go into, and Danielle's about to go into our next set of questions for this case study. We're literally in real time going to talk about the potential of two people who look like they have different things, but that there's opportunity for collaboration. I really want to go back on the support piece, because a lot of people don't have support. And quite honestly, I didn't know how many people didn't have support. I almost took for granted the kind of support that I've always had between my parents, then my husband, my core of people around me. And I really had to pause to be grateful for that, because I ran into so many people who didn't have anybody as cheerleaders. So they're like isolated with this thought and this dream of doing and operating a business, and nobody's cheering that on. That really hurt me. So that's why I'm big on collaboration and helping fill the gap for those people who don't have an inbred circle of influence that's going to help them and cheer them on. So when you said that, that just brought it up to me. So I just had to say, if you need support, you got Queen Strategy Partners. That's why we're here. That's why we started the show, so that we could really be here as a resource. So you don't have to go through the business journey alone, and we can give you some of the tactical ways that will help you succeed. But over to you, Danielle, because I'm all stirred up. And then you talked about I can have them for 20 days. All right.
We started the show saying amen, hallelujah. So you bringing in the spirit, Holy Spirit from the beginning. But with that said, I was going to ask, when we talk about the why, we talked about your individual why, but when you think about the value of collaboration and you seeing that as a great tool to build your capacity and your business, what does that why look like?
For me, that why is it's important to, we can't, like we said before, we can't do this alone. So there's always going to be something or someone that you're going to want to team up with. And that why is because you are building together. So why wouldn't I go to someone who is either a makeup artist as well, or like Andrew, and say, you know what, listen, I'm a small business owner, you're a small business owner, let's do this together. We're helping support each other. The support is important. So it's not just the support from our friends and our family, it's the support of being with other people either in your industry or your field that can show you some things and you can show them some things. It's each one teach one. So we're showing each other how to build on different levels. We all have something that we can bring to the table. So my why is because it's important to show others, as well as the person who I may want to team up with, that I can. And you can. And you know what? We can do this together. And whatever you think that you can't do, I'm going to show you that you can do.
Mm-hmm.
I think I think what I would say is that just because you're a small business doesn't mean you have to look like a small business.
Absolutely.
And one of the things that I like to do in my field is like, if you need images, if you need videography, or if you're doing a live stream, as a small business, I want to give my expertise to help you look bigger than you are, because we all need help. Like Stacy was just saying, we're all business, we're all trying to make it. If we can all collaborate so that I can help you to look good, that's my why.
Oh, I love it. Oh, look at these answers. Oh, look.
Thank you. Thank you.
Is that Jai? Is that Jai Jai? That's another one of your fan club members, Stacy.
Yeah. That's Miss Janie.
Right, because my Mecca is here, and I appreciate everybody that is tuning in. But we love it. We love the interaction. So please make sure you share this out. Somebody might need this blessing right now of listening to this show and seeing in real time something you might be discounting as a potential opportunity for you to collaborate. So let's share the wealth of from the ground up. So Danielle, I know there was another part B to that question.
It was because, and Stacy she touched upon it, and that is about understanding where you may have gaps. And she was saying she would help that person with their gaps. Yeah. And so Stacy, Dr. Stacie N.C. Grant and I, we talked about the need of understanding who you are as an individual, as well as the strengths and the weaknesses of your business. And so oftentimes collaboration could be an aspect of collaboration, that you team up with someone who can help you and fill in the gaps, as you said, Stacy. So what does that look like when you are looking for a person that you could collaborate with? Do you take in consideration the strengths and the weaknesses that you have, and having someone help you fill in those gaps?
I do. So there's one thing that I do from being in business and working for others and being an executive or being a manager, which was SWOT reports. That's your strength, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. So if you think about yourself and your business or your personal growth or self with a SWOT report, it allows you to see where you need to fill in the gaps. But when I think about someone else who I would want to collaborate with, that was part of the question, right?
It was. You're right on point.
Okay, so when I think about that, I think about what my brand looks like and who I am teaming up with that can bring that part of growth or a look to the brand, because that means everything. We keep going back to the small business aspect of things, but as we're growing, one day we're not going to be just small businesses anymore. And what does our brand look like? And when we're teaming up with people, what does their brand look like? And can their brand add value to my brand? And can my brand add value to their brand? So, you're looking for people that, are creative, have a mindset, So creativity and mindset are everything for me personally, because if you're creative, I can work with you. If you have a strong mindset and you're determined to get it and make it right, I can work with you. You know, and the thing is that that's to me some of the most important things, you know, creativity and mindset. Because again, as small business owners and entrepreneurs, we have organized confusion, and you have to be, our minds are always going, even in our sleep. So we are like, we're like, okay, we can narrow it down. And sometimes we may have 5 minutes to narrow it down. But ultimately, when you're working with someone who you feel like gets you, you're like, oh yeah, you're it. I don't care how long it takes us to get it, but you're it.
Yep.
That is for sure, Stacie. And thank you, Mecca. I appreciate that. Mecca said I asked a great question.
So one of the things that I've noticed is that it's very difficult in business to find other people that have exactly the same mindset as I do. Once again, like what Stacie was saying, that when I'm looking to collaborate with somebody, that person, they have to bring the same, if not more, to the table than what I'm bringing to the table. Like I try to make myself a very reliable and very dependable person. And if you're going to be representing me, I need you to also be reliable and dependable, because like Stacie was saying, you're representing my brand. So if you're somebody that you don't know how to talk to people, or your customer service is lacking, that is not somebody that I should be collaborating with, because at the end of the day, whoever the client is that you're working with, they're gonna look like, wait a minute, Andrew recommended this person, or Andrew's working with this person. Like how Andrew's over here and this person is over here. This is not working. So yeah.
I have to agree with Andrew on that one. You know, what happens is when you recommend someone for a job or for anything, if it's not right, they're gonna like, well, Stacie, you know, she can't get it right. If I trust her, but I can't trust this person, what type of person is this? Right. Now, then you have to go back to the drawing board. You know, so again, and when you do go to businesses as well, Andrew, I agree with you on that. Sometimes you're like, hi, how are you? Yes. How can I help you? You're like, Lord have mercy. Come on now. Can we please get it right? If I'm giving you that energy, I want that energy in return. You know, it's like you want to support people, but if you can't get that energy and that vibe and that love, why would I continue to support you? It's not fair to me, and it's not fair to you and the person that you're working for or the business owner.
It's funny. It's funny that you bring that up, because it was a couple of years ago. Just right here in my neighborhood.
Excuse me, your neighborhood is our neighborhood.
Yes.
So you know what? So you're gonna understand what I'm about to say even more. We would go into all of these mom and pop shops up and down Linden, and after a while, you know, my wife and I were like, you know what? We need to start a business consultation business. Just and not even to make money, but just like, look, I'm like, sis, bro, I want to see you succeed. And right now, the way that you guys are doing it, you're setting yourself up for failure. And literally up and down, I'm going to say Linden Boulevard, we've seen businesses come and go. They had a great product, but they just weren't representing themselves properly. Yeah.
And how many times have you gone into a location and you love the product, but the service was bad, and you said, you know what? I'm not going to spend my money here. It's not worth it because the service and it was so bad. It's not worth it. You know what? I'll figure out someplace else. If I have to go 10 miles out to get it, I'm going to do that.
Right. And that's all about customer experience. And it's funny you say that, because we all live in the same neighborhood, and y'all know I live right across the street from a supermarket. It has to be literally 3 feet of snow for me to go shopping across the street. And people come from all over to go shopping at where y'all know where I'm talking about. I have to be out of something and about to, like, I need it desperately, or I can't go anywhere because it's 2 or 3 feet of snow for me to step in there. Since COVID-19, I have not been in there not one time.
Oh my goodness. But you know, we're laughing about it, but it's the sad truth, right?
It's the sad truth.
And customer experience. And you know, let's put the West Indian spin on it, because we know it.
No. I don't do it.
that, then it's a whole nother layer, right? Because it's almost as if you walk into some establishments and the people who are behind the counter act like they don't want your money, right? Because they have an attitude that you showed up, that you're actually making them work. Like,
It's come on, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. That's part of the experience. That's part of the experience.
Well, way back. Don't worry. Be happy.
I actually, one of the things I'm known for is shifting the atmosphere. And if people come with me at the wrong energy, I'm like, no, not today. I'm like, hello, and how are you? It will take people out of their little grouchy mode, because I don't do grouchy, I don't do miserable. So you're not gonna bring that around me. And if I'm gonna pay you my money, honey, you're gonna fix your face and we're gonna start over so that I can patronize your business. And sometimes we don't know what we don't know. And that's part of the education for small businesses. Like, we're so caught up in ourselves and lack of exposure experience that we really haven't seen the right behavior model for us. Because sometimes folks hire people because of the price point that they can afford to pay them. So you get what you pay for, right? Because they haven't had the proper training. They don't understand the customer is always right. They don't understand the customer experience. So just sidebar, in collaborating, you could also help to up level the experience of the people who work with you. So they understand that we're going to collaborate with this business. You better bring your A game. Don't embarrass me in these streets. Just like your parents said, don't you embarrass, you grit your teeth, don't you embarrass me, because you want everybody to show their best foot forward. Because ultimately, if you're collaborating, you should be expanding your capacity and your reach to service more and to make more money. At the end of the day, why are we in business? Because we want to make money, not community service. I have my days of being delivered from that. But thank you for sharing that, because that's an important part of the experience. And, we talk about strengths and weaknesses. What would you all say, just building on what Danielle started in that last conversation, where do you feel that you've been able to, and let's use the two of you. You have a beauty brand, you have a health and wellness brand, you have a clothing brand, and Andrew has photography, videography, live streaming. What strengths and weaknesses could you play off of each other in this case study that we're talking about today? Where is there an opportunity for both of you?
So for me, my strength would be the brand itself. But an opportunity would be working with Grant, being able to, Mr. Andrew, working with him and, really bringing light to it. So images, better images for posting, a video of the salon and showcasing that, because those are things that I wouldn't necessarily do on my own. But however, having someone that can come in and say, listen, we can put a little lighting here, we can get a model here, we can do this, we can showcase the business a little bit more. So being able to team up with Andrew and doing those things, again, as a collaboration, that brings light and life to the business, and on all aspects, all of the different business, better images, being able to put this on social media and say, you know what, this is what you have to offer. This is someone professionally came in and did this. Sometimes we like to cut corners because we're like, we know with small business, the money, but sometimes it's worth it. It's worth it to be able to trust in God and know that He will provide for you during this time, and knowing that you're going to pay the person that can get the job done right for you.
Right. I think I would have to agree once again.
Thank
Stacie,
you.
we always on the same page.
Yeah, we need to work together more. This is what it's about.
Thanks. So I could definitely see an opportunity for a photo shoot, definitely product shoots. I would say quick. When we talk about commercials nowadays, we're not talking about commercials on the television anymore. All commercials are going to be on your phones or on your computer, and those can be created by other creative minds, videographers, and definitely I think that is definitely an area where we can collaborate.
So I want to build upon this because, before we started the show today, we were talking about JV, right? And what does that mean in joint venturing? And it has different forms, right? And Stacie, you brought up some great things because we were saying, sometimes people get scared when we say joint venture. It sounds so legalistic, and like, oh my gosh. But it just means partnering with others, right? Collaborating with others. And it doesn't have to be so formal where you have a contract agreement and you get a lawyer involved. I mean, that's important, but it could be organic as well. So, we were saying you were giving us different ways that would look like for you, Stacie, in regards to working with someone organically, specifically Andrew or another makeup artist or stuff. So share that with what collaboration looks like for you.
All right. So collaboration could be a lot of different things. Collaboration can be like there's a Black owned boutique in Rockville Center, right? So she has beautiful clothing and a lot of people may not know of her. So me collaborating with her is me going shopping and saying, you know what? We're going to, you need to go to this salon. That's one part of a collaboration because I'm now introducing someone to something different, right? There's the collaboration of me saying, you know what, I'm a makeup artist. I'm going to do a bridal party. It's 15 people. I have an assistant. And you know what, the next bridal party I'm not able to do with the makeup artist that worked with me. I know that she's fantastic. She's timely. Her makeup skills are wonderful. You know what? You go ahead and take this. So if she takes that job, there's two ways you can handle that. You can say, you know what? She's not getting as many jobs as I'm getting. So you know what? Let her have that. That's the money that she can build upon, right? Let's just hope that in return she'll do the favor as well, right? That's because you have to think about that. And then the next part of that is saying, you know what, I'm going to give you this job. I'm going to hand the job over to you, but I would like a percentage. So there's different ways of handling things. I mean, it doesn't have to be, cut like here's a contract. We're going to sign this thing. It's just a matter of trusting in your heart, in your spirit, what it tells you. Sometimes the spirit will tell you like, I don't know. And sometimes people say, yes, she's the one. So understanding who you're working with and who you're dealing with. And sometimes you just have to trust that before you even say, you know what, I'm going to sign this contract because you want to see what people will do. If you let people show you what they can do, they will definitely show you. Sit back and watch. People will show you who they are. Trust it.
Hallelujah.
I need to put on my sound effects. Yes.
So another major point, one of the things that Dr. Stacie N.C. Grant is always teaching is about the power of relationships. And one of the things that I do on a regular basis, there's sometimes if I know that a photographer is shooting a wedding, even though I'm not there in a business capacity, I'm watching that photographer. And if I really like how they work, I'll get their card because this is somebody that I can see myself collaborating with at a later date. One of the things that I've tried to do is I try to turn away no money. No money. You can do an event, and let's say you can't do the event, and that event is supposed to pay you $100. You can't do the event because let's say you have another event. There's no way that you should say, you know what? Oh, I'm so sorry, I can't do your event. You have to find another photographer. What immediately should go into your mind is like, okay, which photographer do I know that I can refer you to? And that way you get a percentage of that referral. So instead of making $100, you only made $25. And I don't know, in math class, I always learn that 25 is better than 0.
Absolutely. Oh my goodness. But this is an engaging conversation because turning away no money, if you don't have people that you can refer, then you need to really think about what are you doing in business and really one of the things that I haven't done, and probably in my next iteration of the things that I do, is a referral fee. I refer people all the time. People call me like I'm E.F. Hutton. Who do you know that can do this? Who do you know? And that's actually a transactional business, and people get paid to broker relationships. But I've been so moved on the other parts of mine. I'm like, we might just add that on a little classified situation. Because if you don't have folks in your circle that you can refer, you need to expand your circle. I don't need to know how to do everything, and that's what I say in my tribe and community. I don't have to be the smartest one in the group. Dr. Dennis Kimbrough, in his book, What Makes the Great Great, he talks about this. He said, if you're the smartest person in your group, you need a new group. Because then you're feeding off of your own ego and you're thinking that you're all that in a bag of chips. No, you want people around you to stretch you. You want to have people like I do. You know, the first time I met Michael V. Roberts, who is one of the few Black billionaires in the country, to be able to call him or to ask questions and information, that's stretching me to a whole nother place. I don't know how many billionaires you know, but that changed my world, right? So it's about really understanding who you're surrounded by, who you can refer, and then it makes you want to up level and scale, which is what collaborations hopefully do, not just make money, but allow you to scale and grow like Queen Strategy Partners. Shameless.
Yeah, you become a concierge business after a while because people are coming to you for so much information for different things. I mean, even myself, I mean, I've had people, because I've had to plan funerals for clients and friends, they'll come to me, they're like, oh, you started a new business? I was like, no, I have not started a funeral service concierge business. However, a client said, maybe you need to think about that, Stacie, because you're really good. No. So we can refer other people. Or do you know where to get an urn? You know what? I do actually. And it seems kind of sad a little bit, but ultimately that's the information that I've retained and I've been able to share. So you feel so good with being able to help others and share with others. But again, maybe you guys are right. Maybe I need to put a small price tag on the low on it or something. I don't know.
Listen, ain't nothing wrong. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Just yesterday, and this is an honest to God true story. Just yesterday, I got a call from somebody who is friends with one of our closest friends. They're like family to us. And we did the program and I actually officiated the services. Now, that's not a part of my business. That's not what I promote to other people. But he was like, look, they love what you did. They're in mourning right now. They just lost your father. And I said, you know what? This is the umpteenth time this has come to me. It's time to create a price tag. So I whipped up a whole contract, all the information. Andrew was like, how'd you do that so fast? And I'm like, bam, here you go. We'll be able to do it. I got my designers on it and we made it a business. So Stacie, for the same reason, supporting family and supporting friends, I've done way more funerals than I would like. Funeral programs, officiating, video, streaming because of COVID. I said, well, Lord, you give us the stuff that's in our hands and we don't use it. So girl, let's talk sidebar. I'll tell you what you did. We can even collaborate on those services.
So wait, Dr. Stacie N.C. Graham, that was our first show.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
But you know what the beauty is? That's a lesson of life. That's one of the divine principles. What you teach, you constantly got to put in implementation, right? You got to live it out. You got to do it. So there you go.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's funny. I just got a call a couple of weeks ago from a friend that knows that I do videography. And he said that there's a church that's looking for some videography work. And when I called the church to find out what exactly they needed, what they really needed was a system that you connect to the ceiling, and you can work the camera from the back of the room. They call it a PZT camera, which is a pan, zoom, tilt camera. I've never installed any of those cameras, but I know somebody who does. and I called them up and I was like, yo, can you do this? He's like, yeah, sure. Done deal.
And the power of collaborating.
The power of collaborating. Hence, that's what this is all about, right?
Yeah.
So,
Exactly.
yeah, but we also, it's not just about the referral. That's an aspect of it. The beauty of collaboration is when you can actually work on projects together, which is we would say, if you have a wedding, it's not just the makeup artist, Stacie. Right. It's Andrew coming in to do the videography or the photography. It's that synergy there. It's the clothes. You talked about the person who has beautiful clothes. She has, bringing her, if you need to do makeup for, for somebody who needs to.
Yeah. I mean, I used to do a lot of makeup stuff for lookbooks. So designers who were putting their stuff out for the buyers. So the lookbooks, I mean, there's so many different areas that you can collaborate with people. It's just a matter of bringing them all together, seeing who fits with each project and taking it from there. And like you said, we all know someone that may be able to do the job if you cannot do it, so it's a beautiful thing to be able to continuously grow and expand your group and your circle of people to be able to, do things that you can't do. Like I have someone who does finance and I send people to her because you know what, that's not my lane, but you know what,
Right.
I know that she'll take care of them. So
Right.
that's really
Right.
important, knowing that when you send someone to someone else, that they're going to be well taken care of.
Exactly. Yep.
Absolutely.
I
And
agree.
you said something also. If you do have a job and there's a piece of it, and Andrew, it's kind of touched upon what you really said, and there's something you can't do. If you could do 60 or 70% of it, and you have to figure out the 30%, that's an
Right.
opportunity for collaboration because you could bring in somebody who could fill in that gap for that skill set.
Yep.
So it's not just referring out. Sometimes it's bringing that person in, and you can still retain that project because you still know the vast majority of what they're asking for. You just need help with that, with a certain piece of it. So
And it's funny because that's also a learning opportunity, because now you have an opportunity to sit side by side with somebody and learn something that you didn't know before.
Absolutely.
Yep.
And that's so amazing too. And I think that we sometimes lose sight of being able to learn as well too, because we're still growing. And to be able to hear and grasp the knowledge that someone else is offering is very important.
Yep.
Exactly. And it also pushes you, you having the right people around you. I always say that to Danielle. I was like, girl, you know how to stretch in a positive way. Just open up and think about what to do when I want to take a back seat if I'm learning something. So my comfort zone is like, nah, you do that. No, I'll watch it. She's like, no, boo, it's time for you to do. Right. And so you need someone around who's also going to see opportunity for you, see a bigger picture, and you can't see the picture when you're in the frame, as Les would say. When we work together and do training, that's one of the things, that's the power in working and seeing the light go off in someone's eyes, because you can see what's possible for them, but they haven't yet come to that realization. And in collaboration, it can open up new ways for you to operate and share your business. Like, I didn't even think about that. That's why we have people in our circle that are hopefully helping you to grow. And if they're not helping you to grow, scale, expand, and make some money, they might have to go sit in the back seat.
But that goes to and this is for Dr. Stacie. That goes back to your values being in alignment. And we started talking about that in regards to how you work, your work ethic, your integrity, customer service, all of that. But even if you build upon that, yes, we are here to help one another. And I may not have knowledge in one area, you may not have knowledge in another area. But if the person is not willing to grow, like you said, Stacie, and you're like trying to help them in one area, but they're not really receiving it because their ego is like, no, like, then it's not because we really then are not about growth. And you find that as well. Like, you're like, well, let's do this or let's do that. But if the other person is really like, no, or then it's just not going to work.
And you know what? A lot of that is fear. People are fearful to move forward. They're fearful to step out of their own way, to look around and say, you know what, maybe I could try that, as opposed to letting the fear drive them to that next thing. It's fear that's keeping them where they are, and they're closing their minds to the possibilities.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And the other piece of that is holding one another accountable.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's the accountability could come out in different ways. Accountability is holding us accountable to growth. What we're saying, like stretching the person and the other person being able to receive that, but also checking one another for us to say that didn't look good, or we need to do this better, or something like you do in a marriage. And then the person not taking it personally, but understanding it's in the spirit of, again, growth and us, trying to get to higher ground.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's why. Yeah, that's why the power of those relationships are so important. I say you can't wait until you're on the job, and that's when I'm starting to get to know you. That's when I'm starting to find out if you have a certain capacity. That's something that you should know down the road.
Yeah. You're right, Andrew. Even though it didn't quite work out that way for Dr. Stacie N.C. Grant and I, we kind of did it the backwards way.
We just jumped in, all of us, when we connected, and there was some learning and growing where we originally started, and then now the three of us. So, it's important to do that homework if you can. Yes,
Yes.
Mr.
What I'm gonna say, as somebody that has witnessed your JV, you guys are blessed because it's very rare that you have three confident, strong women come together and understand that whatever issues we may have, it's not personal. That's very, very rare. So blessings to you guys.
Blessings to
Thank
you. It's
you.
very important for that.
Yes. And you know what it is understanding that as we get to know each other, because our romance started real early, right? So
Yep.
there wasn't a growing, we were like, hey, these women have it going on. We
Right.
were brought together by a mutual person who thought there was some opportunity there. And then as we grow in it and you start making money, when you make money together, that can iron out a couple of situations, right? If your value starts with adding value and you're getting
Yes.
compensated for it. So not just money for the money's sake, but knowing that your skills and your gifts will make room for you. And now you're collaborating with two other people that have a certain amount of skill set. It can
Right.
only expand. So that's the proof. That's our internal proof. Like, we can do this because we've gotten paid for it. So our proof
Right.
of concept that we can take our individual expertise and successes that we've had in our own companies and bring that together for an explosion within the space. That's what Queen Strategy Partners has positioned themselves for, and that we're doing. And every client we work with sings our praises. I tell Danielle and Nicole all the time, they laugh at me. I said, they look at us like we're unicorns. Like, where did they come from?
And there's also such a difference when you're doing business from a place of service. Not I'm just trying to make money, or I'm trying to become a billionaire. But you just do what you do from a place of service, and God will handle the rest.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Amen. Amen.
Well, we have a couple more questions, right, Danielle? But we'll try to truncate a few because we wanted to keep this case study. If you all are enjoying this case study, let us know. Please put it in the chat. Is this helpful for you? Are you gaining some information or ideas for your own business? Because we want to be intentional with how we show up and feature some of the other topics in this quarter, particularly. So your feedback is important to us as well. So as we start to wind down, I mean, I feel like we could be here all morning. This has been so good. But when we talk about values, going back to a value statement and what really governs the way you act, what are your, let's say, top 3 values for your business when interacting with a customer? We'll start with you, Stacie.
My top 3 values would be service, accountability, and time. I think that when you deal with clients, and I feel like they can all attest to this, is that when they come to the spa, they feel welcome, they feel at home, they feel at peace. And those are the things that you want to always give out to your clients. You want them to feel as though they're not just coming to a place of service, which they are, but they're coming to a place where they feel at home and comfortable. That's really important. My mom and I work together, and I've learned a lot from her. My mom has been in the business as an entrepreneur over 30 something years, 37, 38 years. And to be totally honest with you, she's the one that taught me that, when someone else won't do it, you definitely can do it. So there's times when we take clients at 7:00 in the morning, and people say, you take clients at 7? Well, you know what? That gives you time to come, get your hair done, get your nail done, get your face done, get your makeup done, and you can go to work afterwards if you like.
And look, Stacie, I'm a testament of that, right?
Yes.
We saw each other. I came at like what, 6:45, 7:00.
Yes. People say 7:00, and I said, listen, I'm gonna give you something that that you can't get anywhere else. How many salons open up at 7:00? Not many. Not many. So time is everything. Patience, listening. Oh, it's a quality that most people don't have. Listen, to be able to listen to what your clients are asking for, and just again, I think it's very important. Time, listening, all are the major aspects of building a business, as well as dealing with people. Listening is probably number one, because most of us don't listen. We're not listening to what the client is asking for. We're not listening to what they're saying. And compassion, compassion and understanding for, sometimes they come to you and they just need to sit and vent and talk, and being that person that they can do that with, while you're still working and you're just listening. It's very important. And love, I always say, if we all shared more love, then this world would be such a different place. So showing them love on a level that they may not be able to get anyplace else. So, and tell them, I love you. I love you. Honestly, I love my group of women and the people that come to me, the new ones, the ones that haven't been. I say I love you too, because it's so important. It's so important.
Absolutely.
So Stacie, I'm gonna lend you a quote. I'll let you use it one time. After that, I might have to charge you. But I say that we can get all the sleep that we want when we're dead.
Absolutely.
Right
Absolutely.
now, we gotta work.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
and it's hard. It's hard. Your mind is, people don't realize it. I go to sleep and I wake up and my husband's like, are you okay? I'm like, I can't shut my mind off. I just need to rest for a second. It just keeps going. It's organized confusion, but that's how God created us, until it's time for us to slow down, then we just keep going.
Mm-hmm.
And to answer your question, Danielle, the values, mine would be integrity, dependability, and resourcefulness. I think it's such a good feeling. Like if somebody comes to you and says, "Hey, Andrew, I need you to redo my bathroom," and I'm like, you know what? I don't redo bathrooms, but I know somebody that does. Let me get back to you. And that person doesn't even pick up the phone to ask another person, can they redo their bathroom? Literally, because of my integrity and my dependability and my resourcefulness, they leave it up to me, and they're waiting for my phone call. And to me, that's a good feeling.
Absolutely. I'm gonna take those 3 too, Andrew. We're gonna add those to my list.
I love it. I love it. And it's a certain joy, like everybody's smiling, talking about what you do. That's the joy that keeps you when you go through the parts of the journey that aren't pretty, the parts of the journey that, really stretch you. It's the joy in your heart of knowing that for us, all of us on this particular show believe that God has an assignment for us. So when we're walking in that assignment, there's a certain joy that nobody can give you. That was innate. That's a part of how you show up in the world, how you deliver your brilliance to the marketplace. And today, our collaboration case study is just showing how 2 people, 2 different industries can work together. It can be an organic, casual connection, or it can be more formal, like Queen Strategy, where, we're in big contracting space for private sector, public sector. So it opens up a different opportunity. Or it can be, look, I need shots of my products. I'm working with this particular photographer. So when those shots go up on your page, you're like, well, who took that photo? Then the business comes back. People hear about the smoothies, about the vitamins. I've invested in everything that Stacie has. I mean, point blank, like that's just who I am. If I know that you have something of quality, I will invest in it. I call it my glam squad. I have about 5 solid makeup artists, because when it's time to do the beat, I'm not stressing myself out. I go to the experts, and all of them are busy. So you have multiple people who can do in different boroughs. I even have people in different states when I travel, pre-COVID, because of what I do. It's building that network. Everybody can eat. Everybody can get some. If you have an abundance mentality, then you don't operate in scarcity. So I'm just thrilled. I'm going to let Danielle wrap us up with the last part of our conversation today. But this is so much fun. I hope you all are thinking about collaboration out there. Yes, Mr. Grant.
Yeah, I don't want
to. Wait, can I say something? Is this the Mr. Grant who usually doesn't want to speak? Who's like behind the scenes? Yeah.
Listen.
Hallelujah. 2021. I see a new Grant. I'm liking this Grant.
You guys are forcing me into this space, and I'm accepting. No, but I don't want us to gloss over that point that Ms. Grant just made. The abundance mindset, Because part of the reason why a lot of us don't collaborate is that they really don't feel that there's enough for everybody. They feel like if I allow you to work with my client, you're going to steal my client, and then I'm not going to make any money. And that is definitely a mindset that we have to get away from.
Absolutely. The fear of being able to recommend people that's in your field. I mean, you're not losing, you're gaining. You're totally gaining. It's going to come back to you. I always say, I can teach you how to do something, but you're not going to do it the way that I do it. We have our own print on the things that we do. We have our own flow, our own energy, and the things that we put our hands on. And that's what's really important for people to understand. God, what's for you is for you, and what's not is not. God will give you any and everything that's for you.
Amen. Hallelujah again. I just want to say as we close out that this has been such a great session. I really enjoyed it. I hope our participants, they enjoyed it as well. And it's so, I was thinking about this, you know, we coincidentally literally live in the same community. Literally, we all live blocks within each other. And that's coincidence that we happen to all be on the phone. But it's very symbolic of what we're talking about creating community. And that is the take-home message as we leave you today, is for you to think about what community looks like for you and how you can utilize your community. Because something Andrew also said, he said he's resourceful, the value of resourcefulness. When we talk about community, it's about sharing your light, sharing your strengths, bringing value to the community, but also utilizing that community as well to get what you need. And I don't mean that in a selfish way, because we just talked about it, not in a selfish way. So think community equals collaboration. Collaboration equals synergy. Synergy equals abundance, okay, and prosperity. So I don't think I need to say anything else. I think that says it all, right?
Absolutely. But make sure you go visit our YouTube channel for season 1. If you haven't seen it, you go to Queen Strategy Partners on YouTube and you'll be able to see season 1. Make sure you go to our website, queenstrategy.com, if you want to get a download of a checklist that helps you really position whether or not you're ready to JV and the things that you should be talking about or thinking about, like we talked about today. So you can get that by visiting queenstrategy.com. And then remember to come back for our next show. We're the first and third Tuesdays of every month. So the next show is actually my mama's birthday on the 16th of February. So we look forward to having you join us. Mecca, thank you so much. JJ, Lynette, or is it Jai Jai? Is it Jai Jai or JJ? That's one of your fans, Stacie.
Oh, yes, it's Jai Jai.
Jai Jai. I want to say it right. Hey, Etta, I appreciate you. Thank you for being here. Crystal, yes, you joined in, but you can catch the replay. Thank you also. Miss Lawrence Thomas, you know, everybody that tuned in. When you start calling names, you miss someone, forgive me if I missed you, but I want to thank you all for tuning in. And if you're catching the replay, still type in the chat so that we know if this is the kind of programming that is helpful to you, so that we can be intentional on how we sit down and look at the other shows and the other concepts that dig a little deeper, as Danielle mentioned earlier, into collaboration. So, Queen Strategy Partners, let the world know we're here from the ground up. Real-time solutions or real-time issues. Bye-bye, everyone.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.